Martial Realm sign in. As Jak Cheongang, exhausted, said, "Huff huff," Jak Cheongang said to himself, "At first, I blamed the heavens for giving the natural martial body to such a brat. But he gets more amazing as time goes by. I can't believe that he was able to endure such excruciating pain, and he did it twice in a row. He has a mind that is as strong as his physique." As Jak Cheongang's hand trembles, and he holds it tight, and he said to himself, "It can't be my time yet. My body, please hang in there for a few more years." A few moments later, as the moon was full, Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "It's so bizarre. To think I could see the moon looking so bright. The scenery that I'm so used to seeing feels different today. That's not all. I can feel an abundant energy in the air. It feels like I fell asleep for a while. This must be from the conception and governor vessels." Jak Cheongang said, "You're awake?" Jin Tae-kyung ide. "Grandfather." Jak Cheongang took a sip of his cup and said, "Yeah?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "You've grown a lot older." Jak Cheongang said, "Hey, you little..." As Jin Tae-kyung looks at a Jak Cheongang, and he said, "And you're stronger than anyone I know." As Jak Cheongang blazes an aura as he said, "Ahem, stop saying stuff that's obvious. How do you feel?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "Amazing." Jak Cheongang said, "That's how it should be. Do you know what I went through? I mean, it was nothing difficult for me, but it's not something anyone can do easily." As Jin Tae-kyung came out of the bed, Jak Cheongang said, It's the truth." Jin Tae-kyung said, "I didn't say anything though?" Jak Cheongang said, "But you have that smug look on you." Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "For someone that strong, he's surprisingly easy to read." "You got it wrong, that's not it. It must be because I have droopy upper eyelids." Jak Cheongang said, "Why does everyone here have that look? Your older brother kept coming here while ignoring his duties as the young patriarch, and all your physicians keep saying they're not sure if you'll survive, like total quacks. If I knew that this would happen for the last 7 days, I'd have just kept you under a boulder until you're awake." Jin Tae-kyung said, "What? I was out for 7 whole days?" Jak Cheongang said, "You should be glad it's only 7 days. I thought you'd be out for at least a month. I guess having a natural martial body is pretty nice." Jin Tae-kyung said, "My goodness, this isn't some kind of side effect, right?" Jak Cheongang said, "What's with that tone of yours? I went through so much trouble to open up your conception and governor vessels, and what did you just say? Side effect?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "Didn't you just say it was easy for you?" As Jak Cheongang sat down, and he shouted, Whatever the case. Even when one takes a shit, they need to clean their ass. Now that your body has purged out all the accumulated impure energy within you, wouldn't you need time to get used to a new body?" Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "I guess it's some kind of process to optimize one's body." Well, it was kind of funny to hear that people have died from trying to open up the conception and governor vessels. And I also fainted from the mental fatigue of leveling up. But I can't believe I was out for a whole week. Jin Tae-kyung ed. Is the gathering over as well? Jak Cheongang said. "That gathering or whatever ended 3 days ago. What was that guy's name? Yue Bulgun. He's still here." Jin Tae-kyung id. "Why hasn't he left? Is he waiting for my second brother to complete his isolation training?" Jak Cheongang said, "Go ask him yourself." Jin Tae-kyung ed. "All right, I admit that I was wrong. Please don't be angry anymore." Jak Cheongang said, "Do you think I'm that petty? I'm asking you to ask him yourself because he's on his way here." Suddenly the door opens. Jin Tae-kyung sad. Jin Wee-kyung worried said, "Tae-kyung." A few moments later, a cup of warm tea is on the table. As Yue Bulgun and Jin Wee-kyung sat beside each other, Jin Tae-kyung di Jak Cheongang is on the other side of the table. Yue Bulgun said, "We're invited to the Great Celestial Banquet. It's where martial artists from all over the world gather and unite together as they strive for mastery over martial arts. It's hosted once every 2 to 3 years, and this time it'll be held in Henan." Jak Cheongang said, "Strive for mastery, my ass. It's just a place for networking among those with power and to say things that make themselves feel good. It was the same 40 years ago as well. I can't believe they fought over power when it hasn't been that long since we drove the demonic cult away. Those unsightly fools." Jin Tae-kyung said, "Why would you join that banquet when you don't even like being in places with lots of people?" Jak Cheongang said, "Someone asked me to attend." Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, He's not someone who'd just quietly go because someone asked him, though. Jak Cheon-gang said, "The martial god, Jin Tae-kyung-ide." Jak Cheon-gang said, "He was the one who created the Great Celestial Banquet and the one who asked me to participate in it. That was the first and last time that the one god, 3 saints, and 10 kings were gathered in one place." As the room fell silent, Jak Cheon-gang said, "How is he doing?" Yue Bulgun said, "He hasn't shown himself for quite a while now. There are even some negative rumors." Jak Cheon-gang said, "Do you think the martial god would die or something?" "Tisk tisk, there are just so many fools like you that have a brain that's full of shit. So what do you think? Even though it's a banquet for those in power, it's a fact that martial artists from all over the world, one is able to show what they're capable of freely, regardless of their status." Jin Tae-kyung said, "I'm not sure. I just want to become stronger." Yok Cheon-gang was shocked. Yue Bulgun said, "Does that mean you'll attend the Great Celestial Banquet?" Jin Tae-kyung-ide, "It doesn't matter where I need to go as long as I can become stronger than my current self." Yok Cheon-gang said, "You're still young and you're already plenty strong. But if you attend the Great Celestial Banquet, you'll gain wealth and fame while making a name in the Murim. Don't you want those things?" Jin Tae-kyung-ide, "Wealth and fame, is that really so important?" Jak Cheon-gang fell silent. Yue Bulgun sweats. Jin Wee-kyung smiled. A few moments later they all left, as Jin Tae-kyung stayed on his bed and was silent, and he said to himself, "When I was an F-rank hunter, my wish was to become E-rank. When I first stepped into the Murim, my goal was just to become stronger than Hyuk-moo. But as time passed, I've become strong enough to protect my life and the life of those that are important to me. I did question myself on why I didn't stop training and why I was continuing to train in martial arts. And then I found that answer a while back. Savior, martial arts is fun, isn't it? I understood just how fun and enjoyable it is to become stronger, and I already have someone who can make me stronger right beside me. So who cares about the Great Celestial Banquet?" Earlier, Jak Cheon-gang stood up, and he said, "Come and find me at my abode once the day is bright." Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "I can't wait for morning to come quickly. There's about 6 hours until daybreak." As Jin Tae-kyung closed his eyes, and he said to himself, "Unfortunately, it seems like tonight's going to be a long night. Log out," the system said. Ding, at the present world. Jin Tae-kyung is on the couch, as he smells something tasty, and he said to himself, He opened his eyes with blazing sight. "This is ramyeon," as he jumps out of the couch and said, "Wow, this is freaking delicious. It's good. It's so good. I love this seasoning. It's the best." Song Jin-ho said, "Here, have some kimchi. There's also a soft-boiled egg inside." Jin Tae-kyung said, "Oh, thank you." Song Jin-ho said, "There's some rice too. Want some?" Jin Tae-kyung said, Yeah. He devoured the food. Suddenly, Jin Tae-kyung realized something and looked at Song Jin-ho shocked. Song Jin-ho said, "Here, 1 bowl of rice. You were in a really deep sleep. I tried to wake you up by shaking you, but you just wouldn't wake up." Jin Tae-kyung, in anger, looked at Song Jin-ho and said, "You rascal, why are you here?" At the house of Jin Tae-kyung. Jin Tae-kyung said, "So," as he finished the ramyeon. Jin Tae-kyung said, "You rented a room and the friend that lived with you stole the 5 million won deposit, which was everything you had. Now you don't even have money to pay for rental at a gosewan. You were thinking of staying at my place for around 2 months until you get enough money to stay at a gosewan?" Song Jin-ho said, "I was thinking of asking you for help, but I couldn't bring myself to ask you. I shouldn't be inconveniencing you more than you, since I'm older." Jin Tae-kyung said, "Why did you hide in the capsule and come in secretly then? Don't you know that's a crime? Huh? You want to go to the police station?" Song Jin-ho said, "Tae-kyung, I'm really sorry," as he wiped his crocodile tears. Jin Tae-kyung said, "Jin-ho, keep your hands up unless you want a beating. Don't you dare put them down." Jin Tae-kyung showed him his annoyed fist. Song Jin-ho said, "Yes, sir." Jin Tae-kyung sighed and said to himself, "Things were different for me in the past, but he could have asked me since I'm capable of helping him out now. We were friends for so long. Did he think I'd ignore his situation? I was only intending to inform Mom or Ha-yeon after her CSATs of the change in my situation, so I do have some time." Song Jin-ho, trembling, said, "Can I put my hands down yet?" Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "Should I ask him to stay here until then?" Jin Tae-kyung looked behind and said to himself, "No, but still, this place. It's our house that's full of memories where our family lived together with father. I finally got it back. For him to live here earlier than Mom or Ha-yeon is a little." Jin Tae-kyung took out his phone and said, I don't think you can stay here. Sorry for disappointing you. Song Jin-ho said, I'm not disappointed at all. This is all my fault. Jin Tae-kyung said, where was that again? Song Jin-ho said, fortunately, I don't have a lot of belongings with me. I'll leave with you when you go to work. His phone suddenly rang. Jin Tae-kyung said, I just sent you the address of a new house. Go there instead. Song Jin-ho said, huh? Wait a minute, what address? Jin Tae-kyung said, there's a unit within an office tel that the guild provided for me. I rejected their offer previously because I felt like it was too much for me, but I decided to just accept it. Song Jin-ho said, to Tae-kyung. Jin Tae-kyung said, have I told you I'm doing quite well recently? I need to remodel this house as well, so let's go live there together. It'd be nice since I can get to work faster from there. Song Jin-ho suddenly urged to hug Jin Tae-kyung, saying, Jin Tae-kyung. Jin Tae-kyung held him away and said, ugh, stop doing embarrassing things early in the morning. Go there first and make sure you clean the place up before I get off from work. A few moments later, outside, as the car moved slowly in traffic and tried to change lanes, the announcement said, moving on, the appearance of a gate in Janghung-myeon, Ulne-ri, has caused an immediate evacuation order to be issued. Hunters in that vicinity are working with the military to quickly suppress the situation, but there have already been a total of 6 confirmed deaths so far. The driver of the taxi said, sigh, the jam is already so bad and now even the monsters are creating trouble. You're a hunter as well, right? Jin Tae-kyung said, pardon? Ah, yes, for now. The driver said, it feels like gates have been appearing more often lately. Can nothing be done about them? Normal people like me feel so uneasy in our daily lives. Gates could even appear in our apartment building's parking lot one day when we wake up, right? Even if I work crazy hard driving a taxi, it costs so much to live in the safety zone. Jin Tae-kyung said, that's true, but why are you asking me that? The radio said, breaking news. The driver said, I know that no one knows where the gates appear. That's why it frustrates me a lot. Jin Tae-kyung said, oh. The driver sighed. The radio said, the F-rank gate that I mentioned earlier has stabilized. The driver said, oh crud, you scared me. What are you doing? Jin Tae-kyung said, wait here a minute please. The driver was confused and said, the air conditioner is working inside here just fine though. Jin Tae-kyung continued to look outside. The driver said, what's happening? Was there an accident? A car flew above them as it dropped. Hunter, Hwang Chol-soo, 30 years old. He doesn't have exceptional combat senses nor commanding abilities. Hunter's license, hunter number UAK 1320232. Name, Hwang Chol-soo. Rank, B. The above mentioned is proven to be a qualified hunter. Korean Hunter Association president. Because he received a high rank, he was able to get a high salary even without fighting many monsters. He was a government hunter in charge of the Tollgate team. Even after the death of the Demon King, Asmodeus, gates that used to appear once or twice in 1 to 2 years have already appeared 3 times in Korea this year and were talked about all over the news. He wasn't exactly interested in what was happening, but when he heard of the 4th gate's appearance, he couldn't simply just sit around and play phone games as usual, because the 4th gate was appearing at the toll gate that he was in charge of. What was worse was the monster that came out of the gate. It was an ogre, one of the strongest monsters within B-rank monsters. Hwang Chol-soo said, tanks, what are you doing? Get their aggro. Archers, keep on firing. Don't stop. The others in pain said, ka. Hwang Chol-soo said, how is a single monster capable of this? What should we do? The healer said, team leader, pull yourself together. We need to do whatever it takes to last until the reinforcements arrive. Hwang Chol-soo said, right, thanks. The healer said, once the special forces and nearby hunters reinforce us, and was hit by a huge blow and was squished like a pancake on the truck. Hwang Chol-soo froze in shock. They looked back in shock. The ogre pointed at Hwang Chol-soo and said, grr. Hwang Chol-soo trembled in fear. His teammate said, team leader, the gate has completely opened up. Other ogre faces showed on the gate. They walked out and stepped on the road. Hwang Chol-soo sweated and froze in fear. The ogres growled loudly. Hwang Chol-soo's foot froze. His team said, the team leader! What should we do now? Hwang Chol-soo said to himself, we're toast. With this many of them, not even our reinforcements will be able to kill them all. The others shouted, team leader, team leader. Hwang Chol-soo said, I, as your commander, have decided that we'll be performing a strategic retreat. Green blood hit the face of Hwang Chol-soo. He looked at it confused. The ogre's head was gone. It dropped to the road. The other ogres growled in confusion, saying, Guo? Jin Tae-kyung said, "Wow, it's so destructive." Hwang Chul-soo looked back and said, Who are you?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "I'm just someone that's on my way to work. Let's skip the small talk. Can you tell me what happened here?" Hwang Chul-soo and his team said, "Who is he, reinforcement? He seems to be alone though." Jin Tae-kyung said, "If you guys aren't going to fight, then just go sit in a corner quietly. I'll scold you if I catch you trying to steal my EXP. Got it?" A system notification said, "Sudden quest, gate suppression has appeared." A system notification said, "Quest, gate suppression, a gate that appeared without warning has caused many casualties. Kill the monsters and suppress the gate. Level, peak, target, none. Mission, kill the monsters, incomplete when you succeed. When you fail." In the distance, the cab driver, confused, sat on the road saying, "What the heck just happened?" His cab was flattened by a red car. Thanks for tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to watch this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider sharing my videos or channel with your friends who might also enjoy it. Your support means the world to me and helps my channel grow. Let's keep this community thriving together. Until next time, see you in the next video.